Everyone, welcome to our exclusive webinar in regards to unlocking your business potential today. Today, you're going to learn about strategies that can help you reduce your tax liability, put more money in your pocket as an employer. You're going to learn about wonderful tax credits that can give back to your employees. You're going to learn about legal strategies, funding strategies, anything you could think of for your business. So I want to welcome everybody here today. Thank you for all of your patience. I know we had just a little bit slight technical difficulties a week ago, but we are back and we're going to have an impactful session. The point of today is to make sure that we provide good content, information from all of our experts that are here today, each good in their own right, the best in what they do in the industries that they're in. We are bringing you caviar. We are bringing you the cream of the crop information, and we want to make sure this information gets to you because we know there are a lot of things going on out there right now that impact our businesses, our life, our family, our pockets, anything. We want to make sure we're helping you in any industry, whether it's legal, it's in real estate, it's in business, and it's in your family life. But today, we are addressing business owners and their needs. So we do have a panel of great speakers. We're going to introduce everybody who's going to get a chance to speak today, but we do have two feature speakers that are going to provide us some good content for the things that we need to tell people, whether you're a business owner with 10 employees or less, or you're a business owner with 1,000 employees or more. Let me make sure. And actually, give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Johnny, what? Oh, this is the wrong one. All right. Give me 1 second. I just want to make sure I have the right presentation for today because we have done a lot of great webinars. Yep, this is the right one. No worries. All right. And all of our panelists couldn't make it today, but we still want to make sure that we introduce the services that we are providing. Can everybody see my screen? Let me make sure it's sharing again. Okay, so our mission statement, we're making sure that we're educating and informing, like I said, in different subject matters to make sure you have what you need to have do well in your business. Some of the things that we're working on too right now, I just talked to Dr. Mazzoli about this today, but we have been working with a national company that has been providing our educational workshops for over a decade now called The Real Secrets of Money. So if you are a business owner that wants to provide value to your employees and their families, we can actually come in and teach these classes or pick a subject matter that may be beneficial to your employee and may help with your employer retention as well. We are currently in the process of talking to schools across the nation. You can be an active service or retired veteran that just needs help with navigating becoming a business owner or navigating through your personal or business finances. But these services are nationally accredited, comes with certification, and we are able to come in and teach these today. All the resources that are represented on the call are listed here, and there's a whole lot more that are not listed. But because of our strategic alignments with everything we do in business, our goal is to make sure we're providing any resource a person needs. Even if we don't offer those services, we all know people that can help in every area. So our credit consultant isn't here today, but we have people that help with business credit consulting. We have our business funding and loan resource on the call today. We do have options through our partners and our company directly, where we provide self-help directed health, group, retirement, employee, and employer benefits. We also have companies that specialize in anything you need to obtain property for your real estate and anything that's a solution for you. I know we have somebody that'll be joining us later from PNC Bank, which can talk to you about business banking relationships and the importance of what they can give to a business owner. I was a business banker for several years. I specialized in business relationship managing for my region. So I do understand as a provider and as a business owner, the importance of having the tools you need to be bankable for your business as well. So all these different services are here today. We have business legal leaders here ready to give us some information, and we have other people we can refer out as well. So today we are blessed with the presence of Wayne Murray. He is the founder of A1 West Veteran Services and also a co-owner in Employee Well. We also he has a partner named Bianca. She may be, or may not be joining us, but she has great information that helps them be a great team for this particular business. So they're going to come to us and talk to us today about reducing benefit costs through the FICA tax savings program. Then myself and Takuma Pryor, which are the co-owners of Master Web Builders LLC, but it takes a teamwork to make a dream work. So we're here with all of our partners today, and we will come to you with a specific topic of how to enhance your employee and employer benefits, and just add value from the traditional plans that were usually, given to employees that might better and serve them. And then we have the cream of the crop, Andrew Kuby, with us as well. And he is the president of U.S. Commercial and Business Capital. And he will be talking to us on all subject matters that are relevant that he believes that will help and impact us today. We also have the presence of our panelists and resource partners. Now, they won't be speaking today, but they will be coming to us in future events where they will present the services and the knowledge that they provide that can help business owners every day. Danielle Bowie is the founder of Prosperous Solutions LLC. She provides consulting and corporate training for all businesses on all scales or all levels. Joseph Bowie will not be attending today, but we will make sure people have his contact information. And he is the person to help with any business, and that should be almost all businesses that transact in some type of way, whether it's through a product or service, but he has some great saving solutions for merchants. And then George Dines is not able to make it today, but he does provide good tax insight. He helps with business development consultant and also financial management. So we just want to make sure we have these type of resources available to you today. All right, so we're going to start. Like I said, first, we're going to have introduced the great and powerful Wayne Murray. I'm going to let him tell you about himself, his background, and also be able to present to us today what we need to know, which is the most valuable thing going. I'm going to tell you this man is basically unreachable. He's flying cross country day in and day out, servicing everybody in this nation. So, Wayne, I'm going to give it to you. You have complete control of your screen and tell us what you do and give it to us straight.
That was crazy. I appreciate it though. That was a lot. That was a lot. My name is Wayne Murray. I am the owner and founder of A1 VA Ratings West. What I do and how I got to this ownership and foundership position was I recently retired from the military about a week ago. In my track to retirement, I found out that everything that I'm being told was just it's fluff. So as I was going through this process of transition out the military, I started learning and getting educated on the VA disability process, and I started helping veterans who are in situations get to a higher percentage rating with their VA disability claims, put more money in their pocket. And in turn with that, now you have more money coming into the family. Now you have more money you can put towards wealth planning tools, right? So that's how I went down that path. This path that I took it personally, and I made sure that I took the tools from it so I can give to everyone and share that information of my journey. So that's how A1 VA Ratings West came about. In that, still trying to find a way to be a good business owner, a holistic business owner. And with that, it was a lot of trial and error, but we came to the founder of this, Bianca Tuvalino. Um, we created a really great program um, called the Employee Well Program. And we wanted to create a win-win situation for everyone. Anyone that touches it, that does contracting, B&B, relationship, we want everyone to win uh, three, four, five times over. And with that, we created this employee well program, which we are able to give veterans, not necessarily, well, veterans included, but employees a 2.7% increase in their pay. We can give them additional medical benefits just by using the FICA tax deductions and saving money in that aspect. We can give them identity theft protection. And everything that I just threw out there is not being paid for by the employer. It's being paid for through the deductions. So that was the win that we created for businesses, business owners. Um, Before I go into this, because you said there's supposed to be someone from PNC Bank on here, right? And I got screen control, correct?
You have screen control, but he's not even here, so you're okay. Go ahead and move
That's fine.
forward.
That's fine.
Yes,
I was just taking the information that I heard and I'm just run with it,
absolutely.
right?
Yeah, he'll be
So,
on later. Yep.
so as I was sitting here and I was listening, I just took a look at PNC Bank. And anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. Can everybody see that? Can everybody see that? Good to go? Okay. Just pull up your calculator. Pull your calculator up. What if right now you can save PNC Bank? Hold on, I think I did the math already. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see the screen?
Yes, we can see
Yes, we
it.
can see the screen.
Now you just say PNC Bank 43 mil, right? Now that's great. That's wonderful. They say 43 mil. That's wonderful. But in addition to that, wouldn't it be great if every employee through those savings would receive an increase in pay? Why not? And it's easy to do. And we do that with the Employee World Program, right? So with that, we're increasing that company's bottom line. We're increasing the employees' pay, and we're offering them free benefits, additional health benefits at that. All right. So there's no going to change providers. There's no our company doesn't take that, right? This is an add-on. This is an addition to. We're not trying to replace, we're not trying to compete with anyone. This is a win-win situation when everybody wins. We're not saying, hey, you got to pay some upfront costs. If you don't save any money implementing this employee well program, you don't pay. And the pay doesn't really come from the company, it comes from the deductions. So you're still in a win-win situation, correct? I got a couple north souths in there. Okay. Um, all right. So you're giving all these tools to your employees, right? Um, to include the identity theft protection. I just want to shoot down here real quick, right? This goes not just necessarily for the employee, right? This goes all the way down to the third generation of their family. They're all covered, all right? And let's think about the business owner, the business mind, right? You have a business owner that has 10 employees, right? Wouldn't it be a great tool to have and not pay for in case you get hacked, to have identity theft protection already included and covering and reducing your liability to your company because all your employees are already covered? That's a win. And you don't have to pay for it because it comes through the what? Deductions. All right, some of the programs that go along with this, right, is the UCM Digital Health, right? This is your no copay, telehealth, telemedicine, virtual care, 24/7, right? This is, you get this. I don't know who would turn this down and say, I don't want it. But if you're getting additional benefits, medical benefits at that, increase in pay, I don't think an employee is going to turn that down. So that's a win for the employee. Now you're looking real good come, let's say, if we implement this. Christmas time would be a great time to implement this. Why? It could be your presentation to your at the Christmas party. I'm just throwing it out there at a Christmas party saying, hey, wouldn't it be a great idea to give everyone a raise, additional medical benefits and to save us some money in the process? That'd be a great tool to use, right? Now you're starting the first quarter strong. your people are strong. Now they're pushing a little bit harder. Now you're getting that productivity that you're looking for. So productivity on the business side, as a business owner, you just got to win. All right. Additional tools that comes with that is neurofacial scanning. All right. This right here, take a 30-second video of your face and it gives you all your readings. It gives you your heart rate, breathing, blood pressure, BMI, and hearts. If you're in a case for a heart attack or a stroke risk, right? Your street level, your glucose levels, and a lot more just through the app. Now, as you scan this app, right now you can take all the information you just gathered, which is 95% accurate, and give it to that telehealth provider. Now you just gave them all your information. You're good to go. Now you can go ahead and get treated. So you just save a lot of time as an employer having to lose employees going out and making appointments, or they already made appointments doing the telehealth. And they can do that on lunch break. And then I already covered the identity theft protection. Great tool. In the age that we're in, I have a cybersecurity background and a communications background. This is a great tool to have. And why not? Holistic healing, right? If you have employees that are not into the whole general pharmaceutical you know, wheel, right? We have the holistic side where it covers yoga, breath work. It has your movement workouts. It has actually Bianca's over at the Navajo Indian Reservation now to get holistic treatments we can implement into this as well. So that'd be great, and that's probably coming soon. So that's a nice thing to have. And these courses are only going. We're going to have coaches on there. There's going to be folks doing yoga. All this going to be live stream. And this is all for your employees to use. And you didn't have to pay for it. Now, we're talking about money and we're talking about employees. Did a little bit of business owners, but I want to go ahead and switch it up and make this slide a little bit easy for everyone to read. Can everybody see that? So we are partnered with CP Plus and Intensive to make this program work. Okay. You have your pre-tax, lowering your taxable income, right? We injected those into Section 125 and that Section 61 into the employee's check. All right. Take a look at the before and after and look at the deductions or that totally monthly income that when employee was implemented. And if you can make your way down, right? As you can see, you just lowers your monthly tax savings. That's a win for the employee. Now, CCP Plus and Intensive expenses are reimbursed on the back end of this, right? This is how we're getting all these additional benefits. This is how we're creating these savings. This is how we're getting an increase in the what? The paycheck. Take a look at the bottom at the net pay. Look at the difference from before paycheck and after paycheck. If I'm an employee and I see a little jump in my paycheck and I didn't have to do nothing and my boss said I'm going to get a raise and I see that, I'm a happy camper. Any questions so far? I know I'm moving pretty fast. Any questions? None? Okay, I keep moving. I keep moving. Let me jump back over. Okay, we just talked about this. You're saving at least $700 per employee each year. This is the business owner. Okay. And you're increasing your employees' pay by 2%. It's 2.7%. And they're getting additional benefits. How, as a business owner, do I win? Well, depending on the size of your company, if you do have a substantial size company, right, there is a lot that you can save and inject and place in other parts of your company to make your company come to or get through any pain points that you might have been working through. Usually that's the cure. So again, identified before, these are some of the plans that we're using. The IRS tax code, section 125 cafeteria plan, the medical reimbursement plan, eligible medical expenses, and the payroll deduction adjustment. That's used by CP Plus. Okay, so let's do this real quick. I want everybody to get back. That was a lot. It's a lot of slides going. I don't even like slides. So with this, right, Attentive and CTV Plus signing up to get this program implemented into a business, right? They're putting guarantees on this for you guys. So if they mess up on anything tax related or anything, there's a check coming your way, and that's guaranteed and it's in the contract, and we're willing to move forward with that. Um, in addition to that, how hard is this to implement? I just need a business owner to say yes. I need a employee or an exec, not employee, I'm sorry, an exec to say yes. Why? Because if we go through the payroll service or HR and they're saying, how hard is this going to be? Is this more work for us? No, there's no work for you to do. We made it simple. We made it easy. We streamlined everything. We can do all this for you. And again, we're not messing with your payroll systems at all. It's compatible. Think of EmployWell as an add-on in addition to your business that you don't have to pay for. And you win. So that's how that's kind of built out. And I know I'm talking a lot, Shantae. So let me know if I'm going over time. Let me know
You're
if you
good.
need,
I just gave everybody allowance to be able to speak. So if anybody has any questions, please
please.
feel free to talk, ask questions at this point. This is a lot of information, but it's awesome information. And we want you to understand it because these type of things can help you per life. In a lifetime, you know how much you spend in taxes or extra fees, these deductions and credits over a lifetime could probably save you hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions depending on where you're at. So please feel free to ask questions. We want you to be knowledgeable of this.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, Murray. I was going to say, I love that. Do you have that one pager that just summarizes the savings that, if you have 10 employees, you know what I'm talking about? That quick picture of the
Yeah,
savings.
yeah. I have that. I throw that up. I found one that I want to throw up, but I want to see if there's any questions.
Okay.
If you also are a business on the line, if you don't have employees yet, but you're looking to add employees or to hire more, this is stuff that you definitely need to know that can just save you right up front.
Murray, can you talk about the compliance in terms of when you get the savings in your company, what you have to do to remain compliant under the FICA rules?
Yes, you're talking about how so you're talking about the accounting as it comes in, right? It has
Yes.
all that's being taken care of by Attentive. Attentive is going to handle all the accounting on that side, and you don't have to do that. Again, streamlined everything. I have a military background, and I have a SF background in strategic communications. I travel in three-man teams for about 8 years. I like to move small, fast, and straight to the point. I do not like to do a whole bunch of moving around. If just straight A to B is the quickest way to get there. And if you do that in business, you can get a lot done instead of going through all the channels. All right. If they're talking at a certain level where all those channels are communicating, where you can get one direct answer to that person or that business owner to get them a right decision, especially using this program, this is it right here. You have it. Like implement today.
Yeah, I love that, especially the slide that shows all of the people that has already partnered with you. I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. If you're talking about a tough economy where you're really struggling economically on both the employee and the company owner side, you're telling me that under the big beautiful bill, I'm going to get a tax savings and it's going to put how much money in my pocket? That's amazing. I don't understand what the holdup is. Like if I have employees, I definitely want to lower my overhead capital expense.
Now let's say you have business owner on the line, right? And they was like, I can't use this right now. It's not something that I'm looking to use, but I know somebody that can use it. We can incorporate this into any business. We're talking school districts, we're already in, private schools, federal banks, we're already in. And imagine banks. Right? You are a bank. You have businesses that's under you. Wouldn't it be something that you can leverage to those business owners for them to implement on top of that? You just got another W. Let's talk about that offline. But anyway, we have these things, right? you have these things. Car dealerships, they have a service department, and now every people think car dealerships, right? But they're just thinking about the front end. They're not thinking about the people in the back that are getting paid that are there full time, right? They can get these benefits. And even if the benefits, the company has benefits, why not have additional benefits that they don't have to pay for?
Yeah, I love the program. I think it's a no-brainer. You're talking about employees getting a raise, which it averages. That's what I meant. What was that summary slide? Doesn't it average about $70 per month for the employee?
Correct. That's correct. Yes.
And then on
But here's some secret sauce I'm gonna throw on there. All
average,
right. Yes, the baseline is $70 per employee. Can that number go up? Yes, it can. And we can do that through itemized deductions. So can your employee paycheck go up? Yes, it can.
and now on the company owner side, the average is about 700 per employee per year.
That is correct. That's correct.
So that's a big number. Even if you only have 10 employees, you're saving on an average of,
It's huge for business owners at that scale. If you're at 50 or lower, it's a huge savings for you.
of course, because
Why not
your
make that?
bottom line is what's most important when you're a medium-sized to small cap business, right? So you're talking about saving $700 per employee. So your capital outputs are now going down just because you're participating in a program that is a win-win. I love it.
I mean, if ladies and gentlemen, there's a link my link is already in there. You got TK's and Shantae's link is already in there. If you haven't got on my calendar yet, you should get on the calendar. You got till December, but if you want to wait to January, we can wait to January too. But I know somebody can do this right now.
Yeah, the implementation process you said is what, about 30 days to get the savings back,
That's
correct?
correct. We get it when you save, we pay.
Okay. Okay. So literally, it's just a matter of the executive team wanting to lower their capital expense, the owners wanting to give their employees additional health benefits on top of what they already have, plus giving them a raise, right? Because you're saying the average raise is 70. Like, that's amazing.
And that's the baseline allotted by the IRS tax code. That's
There
why
you
I have that at that point. Yes.
That's amazing. So literally, this is a win-win for any small cap to medium cap business who wants to save money. That's why I think you guys have been so busy. I love the partners that you guys already have. I'm just thankful that you were willing to partner with Master Wealth Builders. We are doing what we can to get the word out, and especially with our strategic partners, because we always deal with small business owners. They just need to learn about this program. And then the only question is, do you want to save money?
Correct. Let's
Yes.
save money. Who doesn't want to save money, right?
Also, not just about that too, but this is a real good tool that can really benefit a lot of employers. As a former tax accountant that ran a franchise for many years and helped a lot of business owners in the area, and I did work with people's payroll and benefits. This from depending on how many employees somebody has, I mean, it literally, I mean, he has it on a chart, but I've seen it in real time as a tax accountant how these things can save employers hundreds of thousands of dollars every few years. So, definitely something you need to know. And also strategic partners that are on the line and you're working with businesses every day. This is definitely something that would be good to be able to present to other business owners because knowing that you have partners like us, you have Wayne, he's literally the owner. He's right here talking to you where you can ask him questions. This would help them so much along with all the other services, and it would be able to complement and show the powerful resources you have to be able to aid in the system. So, Wayne, with that being said, Wayne, do you have anything else? And I have given everybody permission to talk here. So if you have any questions, now's the time to ask Wayne, or I'm going to have to move forward to the next presenter. Anybody else have any questions?
Please ask me
All
a
right.
question.
Oh, okay.
Or I have a question.
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Yeah. What's the hesitation to saving money in your company and injecting money in other places that benefit the company?
I agree 100%. You
Okay.
guys, Please unmute yourself. I mean, anybody speak up. If you're a company owner, what? Because literally, I've been talking about this online and I've been talking about this in person, and I don't know if it's people don't believe it, if people don't accept it from me, but it's a win-win situation. I really want to hear the answer to Murray's question. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah, and educationally speaking, the big beautiful bill just came out. So I know
Mhm.
many of you are not acclimated unless you're a tax professional like myself. You're not going to know. It's so many changes. I literally read the entire bill, and it's my job to understand it and to be able to translate it to my tax clients on a yearly basis. So now is the time if you want to know. But there are credits in that bill that do help on top of the ones that have already been in place for many, many years that can help you in aging your business that you might not know that's available to you. Okay, Star, go ahead. Thank you for the question.
Good evening. I think that for me and my organization, Shante, it is for right now, our main focus is for 2026 is funding, right? We as you and I spoke, we're getting partners and everything. So for me, as an entrepreneur, government worker, it is not in my realm right now, but it is something that I could incorporate, like you just explained. It's something that I can incorporate maybe in that fifth step after the funding has been acquired. Because what we're realizing as business owners, especially with the furlough and the government shutdown, that just because you got funding and you got a grant, it's not gonna, it could be taken away. So now is how to strategically leverage that benefit in order to incorporate with what we have when the funding starts again. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Appreciate
And
that, Star. Thank
what's
you.
the name of your business? Sorry, I didn't catch you if you had said it.
I'm sorry, I did not say it. My name
Okay.
is Star Fury. I run Star Fury, a nonprofit, a space technology company that helps people get careers in the space industry. Thank
That's
you.
amazing. That's amazing. And I'm really happy that you brought that up. Nonprofits can also benefit from the Employee World Program. How can a nonprofit profit from this program? Well, nonprofits usually have donors, and those donors are usually business owners, and those business owners probably have employees that can probably utilize this employee well program. Wouldn't it be a great tool to put in their hands so then you can have funds coming from that to fund your nonprofit?
It's a great question and great insight. Thank you, Star and Wayne. And if anybody doesn't have any, we're still going to have questions at the end for those that want to stay for our panelists. But I'm going to move on so we can give each speaker their acclimated amount of time. But thank you so much,
No worries.
Wayne. You say is that Bianca there? Is she here or is that her note
I
taker?
think it's Bianca's just
Oh,
Bianca's.
okay. Well, I appreciate you both. You great are both a support to me and TK. We appreciate having you as a strategic partner. As we grow, anybody that's on this line, you have access to the same information, the same programs. We're all here to provide resources to help each other. Just like Star mentioned, I mean, there's some real life stuff going on. There's furlough in the government. He might be in a program where funding can be stopped. So we need to know other ways and means to save money and to receive money to our business. So that'll lead me into my next portion. We have I'll call him the great and powerful Andrew Kuby, but like the great and powerful Oz. I'm going to introduce him to everybody here. Andrew, welcome. He is the president of U.S. Commercial and Capital. We will be making sure you have his information before he leaves, but he is going to be sharing with us today. So take it right away, Andrew. You definitely have the spotlight right now. I think you need to unmute Andrew. Right. All right. So Andrew, we can't hear you.
All right, and now you can, I hope.
Yes, we can.
Okay, wonderful. So, hi everyone. My name is Andrew. I'm the president of U.S. Commercial and Business Capital, and I have a quick slideshow to go through. But I've been in lending for Actually, it's been longer, 29 years, I think now. And what we do at U.S. Commercial and Business Capital is on one side of our business, we work with real estate investors, um, say 90% commercial real estate investors. And then on the other side, we work with business owners and we help business owners get the money to start businesses, buy businesses, grow their existing business, and franchise. And I guess when I'm not helping clients, I'm enjoying my commanders and enjoy playing golf as well. And of course, I've just became an empty nester. I have my daughter just graduated from college and my son just went to college. So I have a lot more free time, I guess, work time. Some of the programs that we offer and the things that we do for businesses and for investors is the SBA 7A loan. This is a great loan for people that are looking to buy businesses, start businesses, or grow their existing business or franchise. And I work with about 40 different SBA lenders across the country where I'm direct to their top rep for their particular bank or lending institution. And so what we do is when I'm talking to a business owner that's looking to do one of those four things, I use my relationships that I've been able to establish over the years to help the clients find the cheapest money for their project. And that's what we do. That's what we strive to do is find you cheaper money, which means lower down payments, lower interest rates, lowest cost, and lowest terms. We do the same thing for all of the particular loans that we do. We do the SBA 504, which is a little variation from the 7A. It's usually for bigger loans. Now, keep in mind that all business owners have $5 million to spend through the SBA. It used to be 500 or 5 million per person. Now it's 5 million per business. So if you have businesses, if you have a vision to open up additional businesses, there's $5 million per business. We also help people that own commercial properties to purchase or refi that property. We have commercial bridge loans. That's in case, let's say you have a property that needs rehab and you need a short-term loan before you lease the property out. We have a bridge loan to do that. Hard money, private money, um, lending as well. We do ground up construction and development for both commercial and residential. Uh, some of the loans we also offer equipment loans, merchant cash advance, mezzanine. That's usually when there's an equity and debt lender out there that will, bring in equity to your business and also provide debt. Residential investment, factoring. Let's say you have accounts receivables out there. We can get you money on the money you haven't received yet. That's usually great for anybody with dealing with insurance companies or have government contracts where they're waiting to get paid. And then, of course, business lines of credit. So I have relationships with about, I would say, at least over 100 banks across the country where I'm direct to the vice president of the commercial loan department, as well as the SBA relationships, um, business lines of credit through these banks. So I talk to about 50 new people every month from all over the country that are looking to do one of these things, and that we help them find the cheapest money. These are just some of the property types: office, small office, big office, retail, industrial, multifamily, hotel, land, investment, special purpose would be church, single family, and mixed use, um, where there could be a retail on the bottom and a apartment upstairs. Um, some of the guidelines, let me go back with SBA, as long as you operate half of the property for your business, then you can lease out 49% or less. So 51% for your business. So sometimes owning property is such a valuable asset to any business, especially if the goal is to sell your business one day. 80% of all business owners shut their business down at the time of retirement, where 20% sell their business or leave it for a family member. So, what we try to do is we help business owners buy commercial real estate for their business. So, here's just one example. If you're starting a business or trying to grow your business and you're leasing When somebody comes to me and says, Andrew, I need 400,000 for my business and I'm leasing this property over here. Now they have a lease payment and they have a loan payment on a 10-year amortization. When somebody comes to me and says, I need 400,000, I'm looking to buy this real estate for my business. Now they're looking at a 25-year amortization. So depending on the area that they're in, it could be cheaper on a monthly basis to actually own the real estate opposed to leasing. And I'll get to a program that I have. It's the No Money Down program. And not many people have heard of this. It's called the Rent Replacement Program. But this is for business owners who are currently leasing and they've run out of space. They can't grow their business in the current location. Maybe they're not in a good location, or where there's enough traffic, or or it's just too small. And so there's a program called the Rent Replacement Program that allows business owners to buy commercial real estate for their business for no money down, and they can walk away with money for working capital, equipment, business fixtures, pay off business debt at the time of the closing. You have to be in business for 2 years. You have to show a profit on your tax returns, and you have to have about a 650 credit score. And you can qualify up to $5 million based off of your rental income and the net profit of your business. This is just an example. Byron Johnson was a past client. He owned an insurance company, and they did auto insurance. And they were looking to grow their business to do more lines of insurance. And he had limited space. He couldn't hire agents to put him in the office. And so basically what we did, we helped him purchase a commercial real estate building for $2.5 million for no money down. And he was pretty liquid, so we gave him another 75,000 in working capital, and he's leasing out about 40% of the space that covers his mortgage payment. So that was a rare situation, but yeah, this is just one of the examples of a lot of business owners that we've been able to help under this rent replacement program. So that's everything that I really have to share. Whether you're looking for 50,000 or 100 million, I get requests for both, up to that amount. So, depending on what your project is, depending on how much money you need, I'm a great asset for you to be able to help you find the cheapest money. And, when you're buying a business or growing your business and you need a couple $1,000,000 and you've gone to your banker and, they're offering prime plus 2 or prime plus 1.5, and we have lenders that are doing it prime minus 1% right now for SBA for the right client. But the difference in 1% on a couple $1,000,000 could be hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars over that life of the loan. So it's important to make sure that you're talking to someone that has tons of relationships to be able to help you find the cheapest money for your projects. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I have a comment for you.
Oh, thank you. Hey, Erica. We lost you. Are you on mute?
Hold on. Can you hear me? You can. Okay. You can hear me okay? All right. So my name is Erica Baez. I'm not Andrew QB. He just sent me the link, so I'm on his link right now. So I just wanted to say, I help people sell companies and I help people buy businesses. I'm a business broker and M&A advisor. Andrew finds money from I don't know where. I have seen him help clients that I didn't think could be helped. So, shameless plug. I know he just did a little presentation here about his capability. There is nobody better to find you money than Andrew. So I just wanted to make sure that that is emphasized on this call because I have seen it firsthand. Him find money for clients that wanted to buy businesses that called me and said, Eric, I got $500. I'm like, you can't buy $1 million business with $500. A month later, they got $100,000 to buy the business. So I just wanted to emphasize that. I will shut up. I'm at my son's basketball game, but I just wanted to say that, Andrew, you're a rock star. You really do what you say you do. So thank you.
Can I
Thank you,
ask
Erica.
Andrew, to go back to the slide with your contact information because it's not, you didn't put it in the chat earlier. Thank you.
Yeah, it's in there somewhere, but I think it's
Yes,
early on.
everybody, please take this information. I concur with what the young lady just said. You're not going to go to your bank and be able to get option. I was the business relationship banker for several years, and I took my clients through underwriting, and I had one of the best banks that will lend to small businesses. But it's not easy, and you're not going to get a prime minus anything rate. And it's not even about the rate. It's just having somebody you can actually consult with that can do whether you had really $500 but can take you from zero to whatever, or at least show you what you need to do to be in position. So that is very something that's hard to find. You're not going to find relationships like that. And your personal banker at your bank's not going to sit down with you with that. So I concur. So definitely anybody that's on this call, if you have any questions, he's here to answer at least some general questions you may have. Of course, you can talk to him and tell him about your specific situation. But while he's here, does anybody have any questions to ask him? You can raise your hand and unmute yourself if you have any questions. All right. If not, make sure
Well,
everybody take a picture of his information and feel free to reach out.
the screen is a little bit off. I think it's cut. There it is. A little bit. One more. There it is. So I will definitely say that number one, all of the information you hear on this webinar tonight has extensively been put on our website, masterwealthbuildersllc.com, to include the direct link to Andrew and all of our strategic partners. So you can go click on his pretty face. It takes you straight to his website and you'll get to directly get in contact with him, or as you see on the screen, there's his information. The idea here is to build resources. As he clearly stated, you want to have a relationship, and we have fostered multiple relationships with presidents of different companies and different resources so that you have a one-stop kind of resource center where if you didn't know that this exists, now you can leverage the relationships that we built so that you can kind of step into some advanced cash for your business. There it is again. And the screen is kind of big. Can you shift over, Shante?
I'll move forward. Give me a second. So yeah, thank you again, Andrew. We are blessed and happy to always have you. You're a great resource, and I hope you could be a resource to many others that are on this call. So thank you very much for having us. So we're going to move on and make sure you do get Wayne's information. His information is here. You can visit the website. Just contact us here at Master Web Builders LLC for anybody interested in the Employee Well program. We are partners and resources for Wayne, so we will be able to help you get signed up and to meet with him or Bianca directly as well. All right. So we will have a question for anybody that wants to stay over later or give any further information about their business. So what we're going to move forward is that me and TK, we're just going to go over with the spirit of the whole thing of what we're doing today. This is a theme. We want to help and give people resources that are not really talked about because we know their environment that we're in today. We want to address the issues, even if we weren't having the economical issues that we're having today. There's always a way to help provide savings and benefit to business owners. It's not easy being in business for yourself. I am still a business owner, but I was that business owner that had multiple business locations as a franchise owner. So I know the struggles of, running a day-to-day storefront business location, all these different things that come up, whether like Andrew mentioned, it could be a business owner that was paying rent or leasing, and then you have to open up a new location because you have outdone your current location. So there's all types of things that come about. So I just want to let people know when me and TK or anybody on this call is talking, we're giving you resources from our own experience. So we're giving you the opportunity to have resources so you don't have to, learn as you go as well. So one of the key things that we want to make sure that we know is available to business owners. So let's say you use the Employee Well, FICA discounts. But guess what you need as an employer? You need to be able to provide benefits to yourself as the business owner. You still need to have health benefits other alternatives, life insurance, retirement planning. So all those tools can also be used in conjunction with the Employee Well program, because some of those credits and discounts are based upon you being able to provide benefits to your employees. So the things that we're just going to talk about today, now, even though in our organization, we do provide all these additional services, so we do know employers have different needs. If you're a single business owner with maybe 10 employees or less, you may not have a need to participate in group insurance. But if you did have enough employees or where you wanted to look into group insurance without it being expensive, we are able to help find you many options. It's not just a one size fits all. So we definitely want to sit down with you, have a conversation, make sure we customize the program to your needs. Now, today, as employers, one of the things we know that they're having issues with, I just got off the phone with a client right before we had this call, and they're having trouble finding just qualified people or good people to hire. And then they want to acquire good people and provide them with good benefits so they can retain and get the retention to have the new talent that fits their business. So the employer that I talked to today, she's a home health care business, and she has more clients than she has employees, but she's having a problem finding people that can just go through the interview or have the experience that she's needing. And then if she finds somebody that's very qualified, she has to compete with making sure she has enough benefits that meet their satisfaction. So all these things we're going over today will help a business owner to attract new talent and retain the best talent. So that's also very important. Another thing I always address with business owners, like I said, as a tax professional, a lot of people, you guys as normal people don't have time to sit and read every legislation that comes out. Now, everybody knows the most recent legislation was the Big Beautiful Bill, which had a ton of tax changes for individuals, business owners, you name it, it's all in there. Now, right before then, at the end of 2023, they passed what was called the Secure 2.0 Act. Most people missed it because they passed it right before they went on Christmas break. But what people didn't know, they implemented it right in January 2023. I'm sorry, at the end of 2022. And most business owners and individuals didn't even know it was put in place. And the changes that they put in place are impacting you all the way to 2030. So all the impacts haven't even been done yet. But what they don't know is that usually, if you were a business, an employer, and you had 50 employees or less, you weren't required by law to have to offer a benefits package to your employees. It was optional. But of course, many of employers have opted out because they just don't have the money or cannot afford to do that. So imagine if an employer can have a tax FICA program like the Employee Wealth system, then they might be able to free up funds to be able to afford to contribute to a good quality group plan, or be able to offer their business employees, where if you're 50 employees or less, you still have the option of maybe helping them self-direct, which would account for offering benefits to your employees. Now, the good thing about the Secure 2.0 Act, it had benefits for both the employer, there are credits associated by participating in it, and then there's also credits for the employee. They increased the retirement credits and reduced the age in which you can receive them. So, for example, my daughter was employed full-time in 2024. She was able to receive retirement tax credits, which in the past, if people were educated, usually you had to be a certain age before you started receiving credits. So now they're doing things to encourage young people to participate in benefits packaging and long-term savings. But I do have a separate class on that. We'll talk about that another day. But it's very important for people to get familiar with the Secure 2.0 Act because it had a right away and a lot of changes that were both positive, but also could adversely affect the business as well.
Yeah, I was just going to add how it affects you, because most people don't care. They just want to know, how does this affect me? Well, when your state goes into the fine phase, what happens is when you go to file your business taxes, you will be fined $100 to $500 per employee for the people who don't have any type of retirement package. So it used to be optional. It's not optional anymore. Bakeries, barbershops, beauty supplies, those are the companies that typically, coffee shops, they don't offer retirement. It's illegal now, or it's not compliant with the IRS code. So those companies typically don't pay attention, and they don't know that when they file their business taxes that they're going to get fined. Now, the implementation phase is being rolled out slowly state by state. So you have to go to the website, the state website, to see whether or not your state is in the fine phase. And then how much is the fine? It starts at 100 and goes up to 500, depending on what state you're in. So that's how it directly affects the coffee shop who doesn't offer retirement.
Yes, so that is true. And it is and the employees in the business have to be working 30 hours or more on a weekly basis to be eligible for benefits or to be required for that. So that's another caveat, but he is exactly right. So definitely, if you haven't checked it out, but we will be rolling out a class on it. I've been teaching it since it came out. But if you are a self-employed individual, even if you have 1099 contractors, it doesn't matter anymore. You have to be able to give them an option or for them to opt out of benefits.
Now, I will say that we do give you a free option, and that's another thing people aren't educated on. Because if you self-direct your employee retirement benefits, it basically is still a payroll deduction and you still qualify under the IRS tax code. So you can contribute or not contribute, but you can self-direct and still be compliant. And then you don't have to pay management fees and overhead fees like Charles Schwab. So a lot of business owners don't know that that's an option, which is where we come in.
We're going to go over all those options now. So what I like to do is always address what the needs are, and then we just provide solutions to make sure you're educated. And I was talking to somebody at an earlier event today. The main things we don't do is educate ourselves. So even if you decide to do multiple solutions or different options, we just want to make sure the education is out there, that people know their options. I had a client, not a client, a person today at an earlier event said they never were taught anything about taxes. They were never taught anything about options for investing or self-directing retirement. We're just given a full-time job, a pension, or if you're lucky to have a pension, quote unquote, or saying, hey, this is what you can have, this is what you can have, this is your 401k, this is your health, and this is it. And they don't educate you on how to be selective. So what we do is we come from an educational standpoint, show you how to select, how you're supposed to, the things you're supposed to look at when you're selecting your health, your retirement or long-term planning packages. And then we can get to the point of, okay, these are some of the solutions. These are the vehicles. These are the companies that can best help you customize based upon what you need. So we know right now, and this is even before this year, the majority of Americans are not financially secure. We always say 1 out of every 5 households will pretty much bankrupt if they have a medical emergency, or people that are retiring right now do not have enough. So we know that's a big deal. So one of the things we go over are group plans, especially for our employers that do have, more than 10 employees, usually more than 50 employees is when they participate in group. But I do want to let you know, if you are between 10 and 50 employees, you still can participate in a group plan, but you have a whole lot more options to you. So we do give 2 options, like TK was alluding to earlier. We're going to talk about after I go over some of the information on group. Now, group 20 years ago is different what group is now. Now, when I started in the industry, the only group plans when it came to even like things like insurance, the only thing they offered was term insurance. There was no such thing as accidental, hospital indemnity, or all these extra features, cancer policies, all these wonderful things. It was just straight term. That's it. You had to die while you had the job. So when I talk to people and they tell me, oh, I have insurance through my job. Okay. Now, what has happened recently? A lot of people have lost their job. So they've lost their sense of security. So when you leave that job, you don't take it home with you. Now, most people don't know now, there are very few companies. We happen to associate with the cream of the crop. We do our homework as professionals to find out what companies offer the best benefit packaging for their clients. And we found a company, I've been working with this company for many, many years, but they have evolved ahead of time where they can actually offer a group whole life. Now, we're going to have another event where we really dig into insurances and understand what it means when you're selecting the different insurance options you have. For some people, they may have more options depending on their health, but just to be able to guarantee a policy to a family and an employee and their spouses and their children, very few businesses have group whole life policies. Usually you have to do what is called a conversion. Everybody knows Cobra. We know it's 3 times the amount that you pay at the job. But when you convert, it can also be very pricey. So now they are able to offer group whole life where that if you lose your job, you can actually take the policy with you because it's a permanent policy if you contribute. So the
Now,
differences
let
are,
me
yes.
interrupt and say that normally, think about where you work right now. They gave you some insurance. It's probably a term, like she said, you have to die while you're at work, and it's maybe 3 times your salary, and that's all they offered you. This is a company thinking about, what do I do with retention? How do I give a better benefit package so that my employees say, wow, I didn't know this was even possible. This is group, meaning you can take it with you, which is also one of the benefits of self-directed. But for the first time, you can have a group, which means it actually comes with a lot of the stuff that term never comes with. And the fact that they offer it to you and your family, it's amazing. Go ahead.
Yes. So he's right. This was not offered in the past. So employers now have the option to choose what they would allow their employees to opt in for and what they would contribute to them. So that gives flexibility also to the employer on being able to afford the benefits package for their employees as well. So the employer, you as the employer, let's say you're the business owner, you can choose to say, hey, I'll pay a percentage for my employee just to be able to provide a specific service for them. But you can opt in and say if they want the additional benefits like different riders or special type of policies, they can opt in or at least have the option to contribute for themselves. So that also gives the employer flexibility without having to pay for everything. So even though right now I'm just going over the generalized things like what is covered, of course, the family, there's different riders, but there's also other specifics where if I sit down with somebody individually or about their business, where they have cancer policies now, stroke policies, and hospital indemnity, it's so many different things, accidental coverages that you can get directly from your employer without having to self-direct, even though we're still going to offer self-directed options for employers that want to offer them for their employees. So this
So
is new to, a lot of people. It wasn't like this before.
I would just say that the difference, if you guys aren't familiar, the difference between self-directed and group is group is more expensive, right? Self-direction doesn't have the overhead, doesn't have the management fees, and typically costs less. So just understand that.
Yeah. And the difference is that, and it's not even expensive, like I said, the way you can design it with this particular policy. But what it is if you choose to, okay, say I have 50 employees or less, I have the option to either do group or I can let a company come into my business on employer day or benefits day and being able to give the option to each employee to participate in their own self-directed plan and still have it deducted from their payroll. So they have that option as well, which gives them flexibility to choose maybe policies outside of the standard whole life. It could be an index universal life. It could be a term policy, but they would be able to choose for themselves. One of the reasons we focus on the whole life is that if an employer does participate also in the employee well program and they want to receive the tax credits for being able to offer those services to their employees, they have to be able to participate in plans that give them some type of savings or cash benefit. So remember, in whole life insurance, you also have a cash savings and a value. So the benefits or amounts can be up to 200,000, which that's another thing that's different. Usually most benefit amounts that employers can offer are usually maybe standard up to 50,000 term or maybe up to 100,000 in a unique whole life policy. This one will allow an employee to choose, hey, I need up to $200,000. And the reason being is that every employee has different needs. If you had a mortgage and you owe 200,000 or less or more on your mortgage, you need more than $200,000 of an insurance. So that's the way we kind of work with people when we're telling people or giving them advice or making recommendations. What is the insurance for? Is it to cover you in an illness? Is it to cover you if something happens to you and you need to make sure your children and your spouse can retain their home? So we don't want people just to have a $50,000 insurance policy and they have a 300,000 or 100,000 or 200,000 in debt. So we want to be mindful of those things. So when you're going to a new job, you want to ask these type of questions. This is also the newest unique feature to group benefits. There was never a time where they offer accelerated benefits. And accelerated benefits just means that they will give you a percentage of your death benefit up front. If you're experiencing a chronic illness, chronic means it's not that you're going to die, but you're going through something that impairs you from some of your daily living activities. And then if you are terminally ill, whether you die or not, you can take from your death benefit and be able to use it how you see fit. So whether it's for an experimental treatment or just to, hey, I want to do my bucket list, they don't care. They're not looking to see where the money goes. So there was never a time with group benefits or with a whole life group benefit where you were able to advance your benefits. So that's the biggest difference now with some of the options that are now being provided. And of course, you still get your optional riders. You know, there's accidental death. You're able to add your children, disability waiver, premium riders. Those things are still standard. But it's just best for each one of us to, if you're a business owner or you're looking to self-direct, to sit down and talk to a health advisor. Now, the next part of what we're going to go over is what TK was referring to, which is the self-directed benefits. Now, Thomas couldn't make it today, but we are also licensed health insurance professionals, and we work hand in hand with U.S. health advisors to be able to talk to other self-employed individuals. So whether you are the only employee and you work for yourself, or even if you have multiple employees, you can give them the option to self-direct. So
Now,
with,
let me
go
say
ahead.
that this is perfect for all of those 1099 or independent contractors, because if you don't have health insurance and it doesn't come with your contract, guess what? That's what this is. This is the same thing that you would have got from your job, but you're paying for it out of your pocket. So, you know, if you didn't know, keep that in mind.
Yes. The reason this conversation is so important for those of you that have been keeping up with what's going on, you know, I mentioned the big beautiful bill earlier. And and if you're not familiar with what's going on, the reason the government, one of the reasons, and I know if Star, if you're on the line, you know, there's been a lot of conflict in provisions in the healthcare portions of the big beautiful bill. So that's one of the biggest things that they're debating on Capitol Hill right now is what to take in and take out. So this is a big deal. You know, we're seeing the major cuts of Medicare, Medicaid. It's reshaping the original marketplace and how it was set up. You know, it is also affecting our general health insurance plans and for insurance providers. So we want to make sure everybody has the information and you have the consultations to be able to know what is available to you. So we already know these are the main types of it. Medical coverage that's covered to us, depending on what you're doing. If you're self-employed, if you're independent, or if you're getting it from an employer. These are usually the only ways in the United States of America you can receive healthcare coverage. Now, due to the expansions of Medicaid before the big beautiful bill, you know, we'll see what's going to change. But there was an expansion that was done not too long ago where if even working individuals for medical coverages that weren't covered by your employer could still be covered to Medicaid up to a certain income allowance. And then remember, there were premium tax credits associated, especially when the Obamacare came out and the marketplace insurance came out. So it's definitely good for you to be more educated on that and to know your options. We will be having separate webinars that just dig deeper into this because we want people to understand and know their options. But I would definitely say sit down and still talk to your health advisor. I did do Medicare for many years and participate in market programs, but I have partners like Thomas and U.S. Health Advisors that my clients and my business clients are currently using. So I definitely advise to sit down and talk to one of their team members or representatives so you can know your specific options. Now, also, what I definitely encourage people is to understand what type of networks there are. So most people are familiar if you've had a job and you've been an adult for a long time, you know, there's HMOs, PPOs, understanding an exclusive provider organization, understanding what each of those mean for you in your healthcare coverage. I definitely advise people to make sure you have access to these type of coverages in your medical coverage when you're selecting. Also, prescription drug coverage is a big thing. I used to do formularies all the time. I know a lot of people that had high blood pressure, diabetes. So if you are a person not in standard health and just seeing and going for your annual physical, you should definitely know the coverages that you have allotted to you. And then one of the no-nos I say, these are the things you don't want to ignore. Always pay attention to your in-network or out-of-network costs. Make sure you understand your preventative care benefits. That is a big deal. And we'll get more into that later. The big beautiful bill now, they are giving some credits and things towards people and employers that participate in preventative care options. Now, for business owners, you still have the option to be able to self-direct as an individual. I definitely encourage you. I was that business owner and an entrepreneur when I was young, and I thought I was young and invincible and I was going to be good. Now, I had a medical coverage, but I was that person that had medical coverage that didn't cover everything and ended up in a worst case scenario. So, not having an option to have additional health benefits outside of your normal health coverage and understanding that is so important. Now, unfortunately, I never became bankrupt because of it, but I lost a whole year of being able to do business. And back then, I was the business owner that had to be working in order to be able to make money. I didn't have a team. I was doing it all by myself. And I had to learn that I needed to have provisions, I needed to have backup, and I needed to have coverages in place.
I would like to say that I think the statistics are basically if a medical emergency happens to the average American, they're done financially. It doesn't matter if you think you're a millionaire, if you think you're good, it only takes one medical emergency to basically bankrupt you and cause you to be in debt. So I think planning is something that we're not really taught to do because, like Shantae said, when you're young, you think you're invincible and you just say, well, I'm never going to get sick or I'm never going to have a medical emergency until it happens. So thinking about insurance and what insurance you have, especially on the self-directed side, the distinction that we want to point out here is that when you self-direct, you lower your cost in terms of your total package, right? So it's just like if you went out as an individual and you went to State Farm and you bought something for yourself. Self-direct is the same thing. You're able to participate in any type of plan that you want and you still qualify because it still falls within the IRS guidelines. Go ahead, Shantae.
Yes, that was great, TK. And this is perfect right now because for all you guys that do know, we are entering open enrollment season. So this is the time, if you already have coverage, to be always reevaluating your coverage. Make sure your coverage answers those questions, fills those holes, fills those gaps, making sure you sit down with a professional that can answer the questions about the changes and how it's going to affect your medical and health coverages. So if you are currently in a coverage, maybe you're currently working and you are the employee, you have the opportunity now, between the next couple of months to be able to revisit that for yourself. So I will say, like TK did say earlier, generally speaking, traditional group plans versus private are usually a little bit more, the costs are higher. And usually you are going to be limited on some of the options of which you can pick because it's based on what the employer chooses. You can have different types of underwritten plans for also, like I was saying before, even if you have a little bit amount of employees, for 20 employees or less, but it's going to be based on health, preferred risk, or high risk.
Now, let me say this for the business owners, because it looks like I'm looking at the participants, a lot of people have dropped off. If you own a business, the general gist of this is that you have options. You can tailor what you offer your employees. You can tailor the package in terms of what is going to incentivize retention. So that's the takeaway, because I don't want to keep losing people. The gist of it is, as an owner, you can sit down with a broker. It doesn't matter if it's Amazon or if it's IBM. They all have to go to a broker. That's what we are. We health brokers. They all contract with an insurance company, and then that broker can tailor what type of package you want to offer to your employees. whether or not you want to contribute, whether or not you want it self-directed, whether or not you want it group. So that's the takeaway. That's the gist of it.
Yes. So, one thing I will say, whether you're a person rewatching this and you're still trying to learn, and I will tell everybody on the call, even if you have to leave early, we will send a copy of this recording because this information is important and we want everybody to get the information. So you will be able to go back and rewatch it and to share it with others that may need this help. But some of the key takeaways of group coverage, or if you're doing it on behalf of your business, is know your budget. Don't forget, if you have a budget, we can work and people can help you from anywhere. So just understand what your employees' wants and needs are, understand the requirements of the job, and also to know your state and federal laws in regards to your employee benefits are very important when being selective. So, somebody like Star Fury that's, going to be doing these type of things in the near future. Now you have the opportunity to create that and being able to have that upfront and being able to pick the best things to offer your employees. Now, there's a lot of changes in the ACA. I just want to make sure people do get a chance to understand that. So we will sit down with you and talk to you about it. But the Affordable Care Act did provide different options through Marketplace. So you can definitely sit down with your financial or your health representative, and they'll be able to go over those options for you to let you know what's still available. So for anybody that is interested, even though Thomas couldn't be here with us today, but we work with him on a daily basis with all of our clients, businesses, and individuals looking for health coverage. This is his information. You can reach out to us here at Master Web Builders LLC. We all work together here. And he's been in this business for over 30 years. So he's a great contact, great source of knowledge. We only work with people that are the best of what they do, and they have access to all different type of providers. So they can provide you solutions. So if anybody has questions, you can put it in the chat and I'll make sure it gets to Thomas. And we'll talk to him tomorrow. But thank you for your patience. So I'm going to, does anybody so far have any questions? I'm going to quickly go through for the last part of this section, which is talking about employee retirement, self-directed retirement plans. And we will come back another day and be able to talk about in depth some of the other options. Does anybody have any questions so far? If not, I'm going to keep moving forward. So one of the things we do go over here, we provide a lot of education, which we've already talked about. If anybody wants to know further or wants to bring this information to their business, we can educate you on your savings plan, long-term savings, whether it's for business or self-directed. One of the things we focus here at Master Wealth Builders, this is not about a product or a service. We're here to serve you as an employer. We're here to serve you as an individual and to make sure you have everything you need for your business and your family together. So it's about these questions here. We're not worried about what the product and service is, but we do want to know what your long-term goals are. Our goal is to provide a good quality life for our employers. So whether you're an employer, you still got to take care of yourself. Somebody told me that today. You need to take time out for yourself. So you want to have health, you want to have financial stability, you want to have freedom to make choices for yourself or your business and not because of your income. And we want to be able to make sure you achieve your goals both in business and for your family. And then even if you are not on this earth anymore, we want to make sure you have a business succession plan that outlives you and continues to live for. And the ultimate purpose that we're here for is making sure you're living your life on purpose and doing the things or the business or the job that you're passionate about. What we teach here are advanced strategies. We're focused on leveraging, redirection, creating multiple streams of income, whatever that may be, whether it's through your job, whether it's through real estate, whether it's through on-market, off-market investments. We just want to make sure that in everything that you do, you're able to do what's on the green line, which is create passive income, cash flow assets, become your own bank, and create economic independence.
Let me say this because literally we were at another meeting this morning and somebody was talking about the industry, financial services, and they said, that's something people don't want to talk about. It's boring, number one. Number two, who has time to keep up with tax legislation? Nobody does. And then number three, they were like, this is the type of situation where you have to fit yourself into the problem so that people can feel like they can relate. So I want you guys to fit yourself into whatever your tight situation is right now. And then the only thing that we're trying to say is the concept of master wealth builders is to help you with tools. If you didn't know, lean on a subject matter expert to give you a tool that you didn't even know existed. Did you know that the Big Beautiful Bill gave your company those FICA discounts? You probably didn't. Did you know that you can self-direct and still be compliant under Secure Act 2.0? You probably didn't. So the gist of it here is we want you to know tools and then we want you to be able to use those tools so that you can get further, you can get faster, and you can still accomplish whatever your goals are.
That's correct, TK. So, one of the histories we always give when you're choosing your company's retirement plan or retirement plan for yourself, you want to just know how they operate so you can choose what works best for you. And I'll always say it's not just one solution. It could be multiple solutions. It could be a combination of a 401k and a Roth IRA and a stock. But you just need to be educated and you need to lean on professionals that can help guide and make recommendations for you. Most people don't know that the 401k was created by another act of Congress. That's another tax legislation. So when the 401k was created, and it's not that old, in 1978. So imagine for those of us working today, it was not popular. So many people were skeptical of it. They understood that their retirements could go up and down in the market, and it wouldn't guarantee them a guaranteed payment in the future. Back in those days, they relied on pensions and Social Security. Then the 401k evolved to other plans. We know there's a 403b. We know there's a 457b. There's a TSP plan. So it's important for those of you that didn't know that you do have options and you need to know how they operate. And the intention of the 401k was to tax shelter from the high rates. If you see, well, we know this happened the Great Depression right here, but during the years of the 1970s, people were paying, high income earners were paying 70% of their earnings to Uncle Sam. So the reason this law came out about here was so that they can shelter the money here. So when it went back down around here, those same people were retiring now in the late 90s and early 2000s at a lower tax rate. So it's important for people to know that. So when you're choosing your retirement plan, if you're here in the lower tax bracket, we all know what's going to happen in the future. It's going to go back up. So we already been through in our lives, apart from back in the Great Depression, if you were working in 1987, you experienced this crash. But for those of us that are older, I literally started working as a full-time employee in 2000 for PNC Bank was my first employer. And that's how I started my career in financial services and had a front row seat in my career to every crash that happened since then. And people had to work for years just to gain back that money or make that money back. So when I was in my 20s working through the lost decade, guess what? I saw people that lost so much money in their retirement that they had to work another 10 years during that time frame. So that's a long time to have to work. And then I was back in banking again during the COVID era, helping people with their SBA loans and doing 1,000 other things. And it was the same thing happening all over again. So right now we are back in a volatile market this year. So what I'm trying to do is educate people. Hey, you have options. You can keep some of your money in the market and ride it out, but be educated. Most people use these safe vehicles. Sometimes people have CDs. I have seen CDs going up to close to 5% if you're lucky, but people have to understand you're taxed as the interest is earned, and you can only pull out of that vehicle in the 10-day maturity window, or you have to renew it. And sometimes renewals can be at the lower rate than what you agreed upon. So it's not the greatest vehicle. And then you get taxed as soon as you pull it out. Now, we do believe in all these vehicles, but you have to just know how to manage it so it works hand in hand. Now, the fixed index annuity, we're just going to go over what's out right now as of what's available to you today. But I'm going to tell you right now, with the Federal Reserve rate starting to lower, now it's good for lending. I know Andrew can attest to that, and I'm still a mortgage loan officer, but If you're a person trying to invest and get those good rates in the bank, that means those rates are going to be going down. So fixed index annuities have good growth no matter what market it's in. But right now we have a vehicle. We are brokers. So we work with top firms all over the country, A-rated banks. We have over 30 companies that we work with, investment banks, so on and so forth. So we take our times to be in the rooms, to study, to learn, to get the educational credits, to know what is happening out here.
Wait a minute. Let me
Now,
go back real quick. Let me point out for those people who don't know, well, it looks like most people dropped off the call, but for the recording purposes, go back to principal protection. For those people who don't know, principal protection means, go back one more, please. Go back. Right? No, the principal protection, you were there. So anyway, principal protection means that you cannot lose a dime of the money that you lose. I mean, that you put in. It's basically a floor. So what happens is when the market starts to go into the negative dip, you don't lose a dime of any of your money. You get some of the upside potential, but none of the downside risk. So the rule that we like to use is the rule of 100, where you subtract your age from 100, and that's the amount of your portfolio or the percentage of your portfolio that should be in principal protected accounts.
so everything on the left is everything that is a legislated tax coded vehicle. Now, there's nothing wrong with everything on the left, but your money is at risk when they're in those vehicles. So you need to be talking to your financial advisor, understanding, remember, the onus is always on the investor. Even your advisor can't save you. I worked in the bank for many years, and I cannot guarantee somebody will not take a loss. But you can educate yourself on your trade lines, understand what the market is doing, and pay attention. Now, Roth IRAs and IRAs are not a bad and a safer investment, but they still are taking Roths just like everything, losses, just like everything on the market. Now, the Roth is distributed tax free, but if you put the Roth in an index annuity, it still follows the Roth rules. It still remains a Roth IRA. It just protects it from the downside loss, and the principal is locked in. So you only get the gross. Now, stock options, it's risky, but you just got to know your stuff. Money market, it doesn't even exist anymore. I used to do money markets back in the early 2000s. When I first started in banking, I had a money market that was at 10.5%. I've never seen it come back that high ever again. And then CDs, like I said, you're lucky if you get 5%. The average are between 1% and 2%. But the index annuities have all these benefits, and these are the things we want employers to know and self-directed individuals to know, because you have the opportunity. You don't have to have a 401k plan and have to participate in group insurance. You can still do that. I still believe, hey, if you're going to offer a match, or if an employer offers you a match, you can take it, but invest the rest in your own self-directed retirement plan that you can take with you. A lot of these federal workers and people that are losing jobs, whoever they are, whether you lost a job at McDonald's or as a federal worker, you have to move your 401k every single time you lose a job, because now it's no longer performing and you're not getting a match, and it's going up and down in the market. So one of the things they have the option to do, or you have the option to do, is take a non-performing tax coded IRA, annuity, or a 401k pension and roll it into one of these vehicles where you still keep the amount, you get a bonus. We're going to make sure there's one that's going to say, while the rates are still good, we have a vehicle that's offering between 15 to 22%, depending on the type of program you choose to do as a traditional IRA or Roth IRA. And they're guaranteeing that bonus interest for the first 12 months of any deposits in 1 year. So that's a big deal if you can increase your portfolio by up to 22%. And then there's no rollover fees. You can convert anything. We also teach people, as a tax professional, I do teach Roth conversions. So later on down the line, you don't have to take all the taxes as you pull the money out, and you can move it over to Roth to receive the money tax free. So we have a lot of different ways to help people. The other thing is that you don't receive a 10% penalty. We do have penalty free withdrawals within the first year, Every vehicle, there's different types of annuities, so they all have different rules. But we do have an annuity now that allows you to take 2% in the first year and 12% every year after that. So that's a game changer when you're looking to be able to reinvest some of your money, redirect it if you have a business, and to redirect into another high performing asset. Now, I'm
Let
not
me
going to give
also
all
say,
the.
yeah, because
Mhm.
let me also say, it also comes with a matching death benefit. So if you roll over $100,000 from any place you have money, right? Because she said whatever it is, it stays, but it's protected when you put it in the fixed index annuity because now it has that umbrella around it. So you get a matching death benefit of whatever your account value is. Your 401k can't do that. So I want to that's something that wasn't listed on the page, and I want you guys, especially the recording, to understand that.
Yes, and the other thing that people need to know, outside of a pension, there's nothing else that guarantees you a stream of income for life. And I'm going to tell people what I was telling them 10 years ago, which is very relevant now. We're not guaranteed to even have Social Security as it is, at least, if it is going to be around at all, as a guaranteed form of income. As of right now, the contract still stands. But an annuity is the only thing that offers that. And annuities have been around since the beginning of time. I'm not the beginning, well, almost thousands of years.
Yeah, but
So
you go back to the ancient wars, and that's how they paid for it, right? But literally, the caveat for income for life is that you get paid until you're 114 years old. So if you set it up as survivorship, then it'll continue to pay to your wife. And then we also give you the added benefit of setting it up with a trust being the owner. That way, it's another tax strategy, right? So the money can still be paid into your trust.
that is correct. So, and to understand the type of annuities that we're explaining, because there are different types of annuities. There are variable annuities that are 100% on the market, have fees and have penalties and all those type of things. There are other fixed annuities that maybe not have a high performing rate, but they are safe, just like similar to CDs. But we're talking about indexing. So, with this chart is an example of what the market has performed since 1953. Everything in the green are gains, everything in the red are losses. So if you're on an annuity or the fixed index annuity, you're just taking the gains when the market goes up. So if the market has this red line, or say it was like the 2008 crisis or COVID, then you just gain zero in that year. But when the market shoots back up, you get all the gains. So when you're on the stock market and in a 401k, you have to wait till the market goes up just to break even. And then when the market goes down, you have to double the amount to get back to where you were even at. So if you're thinking about doing an off market strategy as part of your portfolio, or if not, the older you get, I say more money should be in safety, then you don't ever have to take your losses. And it takes you out of the rat race of having to wake up in the morning and say, oh my gosh, there's a tariff. How is it going to affect my money? If you're not on the market, loss, or the red line, it won't matter to you. You won't care what happens. The whole market would have to crash for years for you to really not gain anything. So we're
And
really teaching this heavy.
I would say that the nickname is the rich man's Roth, right? Or the rich man's IRA, because literally the principal protection and really the compound interest. You can go on Google and type in compound interest calculator. The best example is a penny doubled every day, but these vehicles give you compound versus simple interest. So your money gets like an avalanche when it gets to the bottom of the hill. It just picks up momentum. And the math on these calculators are ridiculous. Like we have to show you an illustration when you sign your contract. And typically, contracts outperform the illustration because the illustration is a 20-year look back that's very conservative. So you are better if you learn how to save in a cash accumulation account that gives you compound interest instead of what they taught you, which is to save in Bank of America, which gives you simple interest. So I just want you guys to understand that, I guess, just for the recording, the difference between simple interest and compound interest and how these vehicles multiply your money.
And understanding how also what they do with most of these companies, they're using what is called a participation rate. So the green line on this chart represents participation rate. So participation means you're not in the market. So the red line represents, for example, the S&P 500. Now your participation could be on multiple market trade lines. It just doesn't have to be an S&P 500 strategy. It could be a NASDAQ. It could be a Bank of America. It could be whatever you want it to be. But whatever you participate in, you're just getting credits. So as you can see, during 2019, when everybody was making all that money in the market, it did shoot up. But guess what happened? When the market went back down in COVID, they took a lot of losses, but everybody that was participating and not in the market still maintained their money, took a zero for that year. So when everything started going back up in 2021, at the end of the day, that person that was on the green line participating still made more money than the purpose of the person on the market. So that's the best way to explain it of how it
Yeah.
works.
So let me summarize it different, because most people don't never understand participation rate. Off market versus on market, right? When we say off market, that means your money's not actually put at risk. You're not in the stock market. So a fixed index annuity specialist is somebody who has a state license for annuities, which means you participate in the market gains, but you don't participate in the market losses. They put all of the money in a tranche, which is just the Costco method of grouping everybody's money together. And then they buy participation points at the beginning of the year, which gives you a guaranteed rate for your contract value, right? So on average, that rate could be, anywhere from 2 to 6.5. And that's a compound interest, not a simple interest. So if you don't understand participation rate, think about Costco pooling your money into a tranche. The company buys a rate at the beginning of the year where they are going to make money on the spread. So if the market goes to 27%, you might earn 22. They earn the money on the difference because they bought that at the beginning of the year. So hopefully that summarizes participation rate a little bit better, because I hear people say that all the time. They never understand participation rate. And how is it that I don't lose any money? How is it that I'm guaranteed no loss? That must be fake. This is what it is. It's how Costco does business. When you group money, you have a bigger purchasing power, which buys down rates. And because your money's not in the stock market, you can basically have no loss. All right.
Yes, thank you. That is exactly right, TK. So this is the program right now. This is not going to be around long. This was a promotion that they started doing back in June. This company is one of the top A-rated companies in the country that focuses on nothing but annuities. They are highly backed. I've been with them since the early 2010s. And I'm going to say that people that I've seen with these particular vehicles have outperformed all of their illustrations or what they were initially seen to perform in those years. Right now, due to the federal worker layoff, they actually created a vehicle for income just for federal workers, which right now they are offering 14% on that vehicle. So that's called Income Shield. But this is called Asset Shield. And the reason I'm presenting this today, it's the highest bonus interest you're going to receive on any money anywhere on day one in a savings account. And this is not high yield savings. This is an annuity. So they are guaranteeing. The rates just went down last week, so I haven't changed my slides yet. So keep in mind, as the Federal Reserve rates go down, these aren't going to stay here. But luckily, they only went down by 1%. But if it goes down more, this is probably subject to change. So right now, they're guaranteeing 15% as a fixed rate on all bonuses in the first year on top of whatever the market participation rate performs. So if the market only performs at 0% and we take a total loss for the year, that person will receive $15,000 on $100,000 rollover or investment. So that's just an example. Now, the difference between the 15% and the 22% program is that you're paying for an additional 0.95% fee a year to be able to get enhanced performance in your participation. So all that means if your participation rate was 90% on a BlackRock cherry line, it will now be 190%. So you're going to earn more when that market trade line performs. But that's all based on strategy. You would sit with another professional that you trust, or somebody like me and TK, or other professionals in the industry that have access to this vehicle, and they would be able to educate you and tell you what would be the best option for you. For people that like safety and CDs, I usually recommend the fixed rate. If you like performance, it makes all the sense to be able to have an enhanced bonus. And I would say usually for people that would participate on that outside of this program, usually have to pay an additional 3%. So it's a great program. But this is just giving you an overall an idea of how it works. So in a scenario that we had in real life, we worked for a federal worker that she wanted to put a down payment on a property. She wanted to start her own business. She worked for federal government for 35 years. So we were able to move 160,000 out of her TSP. She didn't need all of it. We're not recommending to use your entire portfolio. We still want people to have investments on the market and in other places. But that 160,000 gave her the exact dollar amount that she needed for all the expenses to cover her for 6 months and get her down payment on her new property. So that's an example of how we're able to help people. Another example is that we're helping people with leveraging strategies. So the minimum to participate is 5,000. So even if you don't have 5,000, there are other programs for employers or employees that need to start their savings journey that are like $100 a month. That could be direct debit from your payroll. But if you already have money sitting in an account, whether it's a savings, a non-performing stock, or earnings from elsewhere, minimum 5,000 or a max. Now we do have people that have very affluent, type of diversified portfolios. So this company allows you to have more than one investment type. So you can do 10 of these if somebody had $10 million and divide it up into multiple or different strategies to earn. Now, leverage.
Let me give a quick caveat. The company also, and this is rare when it comes to annuity companies, they allow you to take a cash back when you open your account. Typically, if you go to, I'm not going to name the names, those other companies, they're not going to say, hey, I want 50. Like, let me give you a simple example. I was working with a first sergeant. He retired from the Army. He wanted 55,000 cash back from his TSP. Now, if he went straight to TSP, that's a penalty, okay? And you got that tax problem, right? I gave him the cash back, no penalty, right? No fees. He just wrote a letter when he opened the application and said, hey, give me 55 grand, direct deposit to his account. So I want you guys to understand that this American Equity allows you to submit a cash withdrawal when you do the open of the account. A lot of companies don't allow you to do that.
That is correct. And then for each year afterwards, during the maturity period of this particular vehicle, now there's different vehicles. We have 3-year, 5-year, 7-year, 10-year annuities. They all work differently, but they're not offering the heavy interest or the flexibility. So what I'm explaining to like real estate investors or people looking to start a business or have a business, if you leverage your current savings, first of all, it becomes a fixed asset on your balance ledger when you move money to a fixed vehicle that does not take losses in the market. That's number one. So if you say go to somebody like Andrew, you don't have to say that girl said you have $500, but you have a retirement plan maybe sitting somewhere of $100,000. You can actually collateralize that particular vehicle sometimes depending on the requirements of the banking institution. I used to do them at the bank where you can say, hey, I don't have any business credit, but I have $100,000 in this fixed asset. Can I borrow $100,000 line of credit against this fixed asset? Depending on the underwriting guidelines, a lot of lenders will allow you to do that. So that's one way I'm able to free up capital for business owners that don't want to dip into their retirement. There's also a way to use it if you're a real estate investor. I have investors right now that want to take advantage of debt service ratio loans, which is called the DSCR. We do them at my firm. But the thing is that they don't have the money to put down. So they can roll over their money, get 20%. If that 20% is equivalent to the money they need down for the down payment, they can roll it over, take out a check on day one without touching their money, and then let the money accumulate where they'll eventually make that same money right back later on. And then it can come back the next year, take up to 12% of the value with no contract or surrender charges and be able to invest in another property. So there's so many different ways to do this. We've been able to help a lot of federal workers just use this as a subsidy, while they're looking for new employment or starting a business.
Let me
So we're
say
going to
that,
end. Mhm.
yeah, before you end it, let me say that I always watch HGTV and I hear people say I saved $400,000 and I went and bought a house. There's a lot of people that brag about that on HGTV that, they saved 250,000 and they went and bought a house. If you put it in a fixed index annuity with the flexibility of 12% being taken out penalty free, you can basically have the down payment for the house. But here's the caveat. If you save it in a bank at less than 1%, yeah, you can look at it every day, but when you spend it, it's gone. If you save it in a fixed index annuity, you can leverage it, keep the 200 that you saved or the 400,000 you saved, keep the principal, only live off the interest. Because typically the 12% they allow you to take out is equal to the to the interest that you earned. So this is how certain people are living off the interest and never touching the principal. This is what elites do. This is what the ultra rich do. This is where we learn that strategy, where they're basically just living off the interest and having their money work harder for them than they had to work to get the money. That's when you make your money get a job. And then once you can combine it with a trust, now you're talking about a tax strategy where you don't have to worry about anything, right? So I want you to start thinking that way, especially business owners that are cash heavy. These people with 30 doors, 50 doors, and they're bragging. These people in these multi-units. We only say take 30% of your net. You need operating capital that you like to look at in Bank of America. Keep 70% at less than 1%. Take 30% of those doors and drop it in a fixed index annuity, because a trust can own this, a business can own this, or an individual can own this. So compound interest is your best friend as a business, because now this becomes, as Shantae said, it becomes an asset on your balance sheet. Instead of Bank of America with all of your 30 doors earning no interest, you could have up to 6.5% compound interest on that 30% of those 30 doors. Does that make sense? It's called advanced leveraging.
Yes, that is correct. So you can learn more about this. We'll be doing further meetings and educational webinars. We can't do this all in one meeting, but I would definitely say, if you're interested in learning more, if you have clients, this really for our strategic partners, this is very important. This type of things can change the lives of your business owners or the people you're helping every day. So we're here for you to leverage us, for us to help other people, and we can use your services to help the same people that we're servicing. The last and not least is the executive plan. So if we are in front of an employer, whether they have 5 employees or 500,000 employees, we do have 3 top tier companies that we work with that offer advanced market employer plans. So that means you can take your executive team on up or higher paid managers or wage earners within the company to be able to contribute to an exclusive plan. So we know the average American doesn't make, have a $200,000 income. This program used to be $100,000 or less, but they just bumped it up a year ago. So that's why I keep telling people you want to take advantage of these programs while they're here. I've been working with Kaizen since 10 years ago. So it's been around for over 20 years, but most the average ordinary person didn't know about because it catered to just high paying doctors' offices,
Football
attorneys'
players.
offices, athletes,
Yeah.
entertainers, so on and so forth. My organization did help the Washington football team for a long time. So, now technically in our region, now for those of us that are in the DMV, the average medium household income is over 100,000 or may even be 200,000 or more because we live in this environment. So these are things we want to make sure people know and they have access to. So not only business owners can participate in this, but also individuals that have either over a $3.5 million net worth. And if they don't have that, but at least having income combined, one income earner could at least be able to contribute to this plan. And advanced leveraging just means the bank is going to give you $3 to every $1 match. You earn money with them for 10 years, but you only contribute for 5 years. They take back their money at the end, but you have earned 3 times the amount of interest based on the money they contribute. And that's basically taking a loan from the bank to boost your money. Most people don't have a clue what advanced markets are. So if somebody wants $100,000 income at the end of life, you have to have something like this. The average American is only saving, if they're lucky, 200,000. All these employers that I've been looking at, all these federal workers, the average person does not have that. There's people that are blessed, but it's very few and far between. So we want to get the word out there. We want to be able to help people. We want them to live the quality of life that they want to live. So
Let me
that's
say
it for.
this before you go off of that, because we're basically
Yeah.
just talking for the recording. Everybody dropped off. So the idea with Kaizen is what I was talking about with compound interest. You earn up to 60% more because you're using your money plus the bank's money. And that's that avalanche effect that I told you about. When your money gets to the bottom of the hill, it picks up so much momentum and you're able to earn more faster. You get to your goals faster. So if you're late in life or you're late to the race, Kaizen is perfect, especially if you're a high income earner. You know, a lot of high income earners don't know about Kaizen and they've never been taught. So that's why we include it in the slideshow, because if you meet someone who makes 200,000 or has a net worth of 3.5 million, they're perfect to multiply their money. It's still all of the same components of a traditional IUL, with the living benefits, with the death benefit, with the cash accumulation. It's just that it grows and compound. The math and compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. So I want you guys to understand that, get the gist of Kaizen. It's using a no-doc bank loan to earn your money plus the bank's money so that it grows faster in compound interest. Okay.
Right. So I know pretty much everybody, we went a little over because we waited a while for people to attend, but we just wanted to make sure we got the content and that it was good. So because we weren't able to get everybody in, I know Danielle and Johnny are still on the line, just, for the sake of the recording, so other people can get this information. We are going to share it. We're going to make sure it gets out here and it's marketed to the general public. Danielle, can you tell us what your company does for corporations and businesses and how they can reach you?
No, Danielle dropped.
Daniel left.
Danielle
She
dropped
did?
off.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, if
She
she's
had to
gone,
go.
this is her information. So if anybody wants to reach out to her, or somebody that needs her assistance, she handles consulting, corporate training. Please make sure you reach out to her. She's a great resource. Take a picture of her information, and we'll make sure everybody gets everybody's information before we leave. Johnny, you still there, right?
I'm still here.
Okay, you can just very briefly introduce yourself, the services you provide, but we definitely want to make sure we get you on the next event. So that way you can tell everybody about what you do, but he is on our website. You can reach out to him. Johnny, go ahead and just give a brief overview of what you offer to business owners.
So what we typically offer business owners, we work with businesses, for instance, that work from their home. They build their business from their home. They're a single entity, have no business partners, have no employees. We have plans specifically for that situation. Then we have traditional plans for traditional business. You can have partners, no partners. You have employees. We can help you navigate, because even if you have an attorney, and having an attorney is a great thing, right? If you happen to have that luxury. However, what about the times you don't use your attorneys? Because typically attorney charge $200, $300, $400, $500 an hour. And most people don't, even when they have them on retainer, don't use them for everything. So you're actually leaving yourself liable to something because you have not protected everything. So we fill in the gap. We don't want to replace your attorneys. We want to fill in the gap for the things you don't use your attorney for, so you're covered in all spaces. So that's what we do from the small business side. But we also do employee benefits. We offer a legal benefit and identity theft benefit. And what I always tell my customers, what if you could be the hero to your company and to all your employees without even know they have a problem? And that's what our benefits do. It gives you the ability to have access to attorneys for everyday situations. And it also gives you the ability to have access to identity theft for everyday situations. 60 days ago, 16 billion logins were stolen. What do you have in place if yours was one of them? And what do you have in place to track it a year from now, 5 years from now, when it becomes a problem? Because when identity theft and data breaches happen, they don't happen instantly. They typically happen drawn out in slow time. So our company handles all those things. And so if you just heard what I said and you don't have a thing in place, or you don't know if you have a thing in place, reach out to me. My information is on the screen. Call me or send me an email, and I'll be happy to connect with you.
Thank you, Johnny. I definitely encourage everyone to take advantage of his service. It looks like Dr. Bruno Mazzali is still here. For the sake of the recording.
Hello. This is Dr. Bruno. Jumbo,
Yes,
everyone.
sir. Yes, sir. Please introduce yourself and all the wonderful things that you offer, because we need to get that on the recording.
All right, this is Dr. Bruno Mazzali. I think everything have been said. I'm here to promote most the beautiful bill, as we heard it before. One of my associate, we have more than 21 tax deduction where we can offer mortgages. We have something to offer with student loans, and all this great opportunity for over 51 tax deduction, tax credit. So I'm here to make sure that I connect with everyone. I know the time is running out. And also I do present one of the highest respectful doctor, Dr. Joel Wallach at the United Nations. And also I work with other scientists and doctors. Most likely we are holistic type, where we help people to stay healthy financially and also physical and spiritual. So I'm so privileged and honored to work with my big brother TK and Chantel, and I'm looking forward to getting connected with you for more, as you know, the power of information. That's pretty much. I think if you go to the website, you can see me there. You can contact me for more details down the road. But otherwise, I'm here. Thank you so much, TK.
Yes, thank you
We
for sharing.
appreciate you staying here with us, Dr. Mazzali. Thank you so much. I don't think Joseph here is here anymore. Joseph, are you still here?
No, he's not. He's not.
Oh, he's not. But just
Everyone
want to
left.
let you know he has a great merchant program, which I mentioned in the beginning. He will be presenting. We do have a webinar coming up at the end of the month. So we do want you to hear more about it. But for those of you that do transact, you don't have to just be a restaurant or a storefront. I know me as a tax accountant, I still use merchant services every day. But he has a great program that can save you thousands of dollars a year if you transact anything financially in your business. And he's a great resource. So definitely reach out to him as well. And we did talk about, oh, Amon, he had trouble. He had an emergency to take care of. But Amon Kotak is our business relationship manager at PNC. Like we have Andrew here, we have great resources. So if people are looking for business relationship, PNC was my first employer. I grew up in Pittsburgh, so I will recommend PNC. And there's other banks we work with as well, but he will help you set up your business account, get whatever you need going for your business. They also provide merchant solutions through PNC and other type of credit card solutions and different things that help boost up for other business owners. So we definitely want you to reach out to him if you have any questions. He works around the entire region and he has connections between the whole entire footprint of PNC Bank in the United States. All right, so I think we covered everybody. Oh, George is not here with us. We want to make sure we get George. So George is I call him, he's everything. He's the godfather, everything business related, government, taxes. And he has his own podcast. You can go to his site directly from Master Wealth Builders LLC. He is listed on our site to learn more, to contact him, or if you want to affiliate with him, he is available and a great resource for people that need help. Star is no longer on the line, but he is a testament to somebody that's helping him as well right now. So, and we have a lot of other great partners. Dr. Shirley Liu, this is where we're located when you want to see us personally on Greensboro Drive. We have been partnered with her for as long as our business has been in existence. I've been working with Dr. Liu for about 13 years now. She's awesome. Check her out on Fox 5. She talks about a lot of the same things that we talk about here on her show. So definitely listen to her. She has the best-selling book on Amazon. Check her out. Go on Amazon, get her book. I'm recommending everybody to read if you want to learn more. And that's pretty much it. If
Well,
you want to reach us.
I also want to say, since Andrew is still here, if you wanted to say any last words, I appreciate you
Yes.
staying on the line. So if you can close us out for the recording, any last words for the recording?
I would just say that For anybody that's listening out there, this is great information. I would stay tuned for the next Zoom to where you can get, learn more. Hear some of the same stuff again, but actually get to hear other people talk about what they can do to help you and your businesses.
Absolutely. So we want everybody to get the resources they need. This is important right now. People need help. We're here to help. We're being organic. We have the services you need. Even if we don't have them, we know somebody that does. So we want to help you get everything you need. I want to thank and appreciate everybody that stayed with us today. And for the next one, you don't want to miss out because we want you to get direct information where you can ask the question. You can be the person to be able to organically network yourself and tell people about what you can help and how you can provide us information that can make us a better community. Well, thank you. Have a good night from Master Wealth Builders. Take care. We love you all. Thank you.
I think you have to stop the recording.
I'm getting ready to now.